Yeah, that's chromatic healing. And first, I would like to share with you the design concept that I have designed the chromatic healing based on. Actually, I studied several schools of healing, and I was struggling with many things, like how I do know that the case has reached the healing state. Sometimes it's appear that's already healed, but internally it is not. And after a while, I discovered the disease has actually spread in the body, but externally it doesn't show that. And for everyone that is using a healing methodology, it's important to know how to diagnose. And so that's why diagnosis is really important, because diagnosis will tell us what's happening internally, also what's happening on the side that we cannot see. And that's why I designed that concept the first one, the concept of the flow. What I mean by the flow, based on the Chinese philosophy, there is a concept that's called flow. And the flow, that means that the universe will carry your wishes or will carry your dream. You don't have to make any effort. You just think, and the universe will carry that for you. And I've designed the chromatic healing the same concept. You just maybe do one session and the healing is start. I mean, you don't need to repeat a lot. And that's an important concept in the chromatic healing. And that's based on the flow. So, and what does it mean? That means it is non-invasive, a non-forceful way to do the healing. Because if it meets the nature and meets the balance of the nature will carry the healing. And that's an important concept. And here, that's an important concept because I wanted to differentiate between the chromatic healing and other schools, that you need to work a lot to get the results. And that's an important concept. And you will notice that the number of sessions, when I share with you the cases, the amount of session has been done to reach that the healing state. Self-correction, which means that what you do the healing actually is the body, not the healer. The healer is just a facilitator, but there is no energy going from the healer to the person. We just facilitate the state of healing in the body, and the healing itself, it happens with the body. And that's what that means. That means that the healing crisis will be less, because the healing crisis, when you put more energy or you put less energy, that may affect the healing crisis. Maybe they become very strong or become a little bit small. The body is, we depend on self-healing, that the body is doing the healing, and subconsciously, that means that the subconscious is the leader of the healing, not the conscious mind, not my conscious mind, not even the patient or the client conscious mind. It's a systematic. As I'm an engineer, I study engineering. One of the things that I study in the engineering college is the system theory. And the system theory is that the definition of the system, or any system, is it connects. The system can be from different components that interact together to reach a specific target, and that's the system. And you know the inputs and you know the feedbacks, and that's a system. So if I will deal with the body as a system, so I was able to understand the messages that the body wants to give to me, because it's a system. What does it mean, a system? It means that there is always the body is sending me messages and feedback, and it depends on if I can understand it or not. There's two words in the name of the school: the chromatic and the healing. The chromatic means colors, because it's related to colors, and healing because it's a healing school. We can use it to heal emotions. We can use it to heal physical imbalances. We can use it to heal mental imbalances also, as any healing school. But by the way, how many minutes I have today? Is it 45 or 1 hour?
Yes, I thought 45 for the introduction, but
Okay.
then we also have the time for the day.
Okay.
You
so,
can do.
it depends if Anu will come or.
I think we put Anu in there.
Okay, so I can do the demonstration also. Okay. Okay, and that's me. My name is Mohammed. I'm from Egypt, and actually I'm an engineer. I started an engineering college in Alexandria, and the last thing that I was in IBM. If you know IBM, it's a global company for computing. I joined. I was working there as a senior software engineer, and then I resigned in 2014, and I became dedicated to a life coach, or a holistic life coach, and in the healing actually career. Actually, I studied in China, and I studied several modalities. I started first with a Chinese school, as a meditation school, at a Tao school. I followed the Tao school for a long time, maybe till now. I started the Tao school from 28 years. It's for a long time, actually, because I was sick when I was from 7 years. And when I was 7, I started to have asthma, and I was taking cortisone, and my immune system was very weak. And I joined the Kung Fu when I was 16, and I started to study these things from the Kung Fu as a meditation and Qigong at the age of 17 and almost between 17 and 18. So I'm in that field from 28 years, mostly in meditation and Qigong, and then I traveled to China to study more, and I studied also in India, different meditations and healing schools, and different courses around the world. I'm always traveling and studying, actually. And okay, and this is our agenda. I will go through the concept of colors and Bio-Photons, the human as a color for light, and healing cases. Four things we'll cover today. What I mean by the concept of colors, because chromatic is related to colors. The chromatic healing theory is based on that the human body is always emitting colors, which we can call it the aura or the frequencies around the body. And by the way, as I'm an engineer, I see that as always as a frequency. It's a kind of frequency is going out of the body. And based on engineering and physics, you can turn these frequencies to colors, as colors are frequencies, and also frequencies can be turned to colors. So the health can be defined based on colors. We can scan your aura or the field, which is scientifically called the biofield. That's a scientific word. And we can scan your biofield, and we can turn it to colors, and we can define your health based on colors. And the chromatic healing aim is to keep that colors in balance and harmony. And these two words, I make them bigger because they're important words: the balance and the harmony. Today I'll speak about the balance, because the harmony is much wider concept. I may not have the time to cover it today, but if there's time, I may speak about it. Okay, the colors. The chromatic healing is based on the physics of light, and which is 3 colors: red and green and blue. And based on these 3 colors, I can diagnose the body, and we can track the imbalances in the body. So based on these colors, we can know which chakra system is affected, and we can know also which internal organs is affected, and also we can project that all mentally and emotionally also. So we can know how that can affect the person physically, emotionally, and mentally. And the good news here, because of the system, you can predict in the future which organs will be affected also. Because if it is is that if it is a system, and you know how the system will react in the future because you are the rules of the system, you have it. Okay. Okay. This is I call it the chromatic map. The chromatic map, and this is, by the way, based on the nervous system of the body. I have made the color of the body that way to let you see how the color is moving outside the body, and this is the way how the color moves in the outer body. And there is actually another map of the internal part. It's totally different than this, but this is how you see your body in a balanced state, and this is supposed to be like the rainbow colors that you see. The red here, because the red chakras is almost which is related to the fire element is at the bottom, and when you go higher, until it reaches to the blue color. So
this is the way it should look.
Huh?
This is the way it should look.
This is the way the healthy person should look. And the healthy person should look. It's like you're looking to a colorful, beautiful paint. You're supposed to be like that because you are painting your brain by your thoughts and emotions. So according to the paint, you are painting yourself and your identity. You are painting your nervous system also, and that's why we call it the chromatic healing. And that's why, and the idea here is if you are able to balance your colors, actually you are able to, you are balancing your emotions and thoughts subconsciously because they are frequencies. When I speak about colors, I don't mean colors by physically colors, but I mean frequencies, which one of them are colors. So, from the diagnosis of the three colors, the red, the green, the blue, I may know the severity of the disease, or the illness, or the imbalance, which is emotional or physical. I may know it is from a long time or it is new, and how easy to fix it. And also we can, according to the colors, we will know the affected chakras and the affected organs or inside the body. There is a level on the chromatic healing with a third level, level 3. I call it deep tracking because with the colors I can go and track inside the body. I know the affected organs. I can make, for example, I may say that the person affected organ is the kidney, and then at the second stage maybe the liver, and the third stage maybe the heart. And if you know the most affected organs, you will know from where to start the healing, because this is a code. The colors are the code. If you are able to go in the specific order, you know, if you saw the old movies of Sinbad or the Prince of Persia, he get the keys to open the door. He have to get the keys from 3 keys, and he have to collect them, and then a light that happens and the door opens. But if he have 2 keys, the door doesn't open. He has to collect the 3 keys. And the same here of the 3 colors. When you go and order and you heal the body, order that will make the body go immediately in a healing state by itself, because it's like, you know, you put the fire. It's just the fire of healing. It's an awakening. It's awakening the body, or awakening the consciousness. Is the right way I can say it. Awakening the consciousness more than I'm working on the body itself, or the emotion itself, or the mental itself. It is a code to awaken the consciousness, and it will reflect on dimensional sides. And that's mean we can map the emotion physically, and the thoughts also physically. And we have here 2 groups of organs, main organs, the yin organs and yang organs, the heart and liver and kidney, lungs, pericardium, spleen, and that's also based on Chinese medicine, by the way. The small intestine, gallbladder, bladder, large intestine, trachoma, stomach. So, according to the diagnosis I made to the color, I may know which organ of this is affected. And the theory here says, whatever other organ is affected, it has to have a relation with at least one of these. At least, because these are the main organs in the body, and they are connected to every tissue in the body, and that's based on the Chinese medicine. So, for example, if someone his hair has a problem with the hair, we can connect that with one of these organs. We are connecting that to the organs as an energy, by the way, but not as a physical organ. We are speaking here in a mental level as an energy. The second part, the first part was chromatic healing was the colors. The second part is which is chromatic healing, depend on the biophotons. I would like to know how many one here heard about the biophotons, or at least read an article about it. Anyone know about it? Okay. Okay. The it's actually a very interesting topic, the biophotons. It's really very interesting topic. This man in 1923, his name is Gerwitz. He's a Russian man, and he was studying embryonics and the development of embryonic cells. And he found, and he has a knowledge in biochemistry, and suddenly he realized that the development of the cells for the embryonic is beyond our knowledge in the biochemistry. And he said the biochemistry science is not enough to explain how the cells grow. And he suddenly said there is something beyond the chemistry, and it is a kind of electromagnetics or a waves, or as is, the cells is speaking to each other non-physically. And he was the first one to speak about the biophotons. And later, that man, he's a German man, he is still alive, by the way. His name is Fritz Bob. In 1974, he made a machine that it can count the biophotons. When Gerwitz came with his theory, it was just a hypothesis, and the science couldn't prove it till that man, Dr. Fritz, he's a biophysicist engineer, and he was able to build a machine to say that everybody and every living cell have a light that's always coming out, and that's scientifically proved now. And he said something more interesting than that disease happens in the body because the imbalance of the light. And he said, if I'm able to make the light back again, the body will be back again. And he developed a machine that it can stimulate and emulate a biophotons, so it gives the body a biophotons, so it motivates the body to produce and emit biophotons again. And he said he can heal everything, or anything, even cancer, even chronic diseases, by just this machine and his research. And actually the biophotons are photons, they're actually photons. But we know photons like this, like the lights coming from this thermal light, but they are not thermal. They are coming from by biochemical reaction in the body, and specifically from inside the DNA. And that's how the cell is emitting biophotons. But they are not, by the way, they are not visible by the normal light. They are not visible. They are very, very weak to be seen by our light. It needs a machine to show it. And by the way, there is some exercises. If you develop your eyes, and some of the energy people, they can teach you that, you can see it. And they say that this is the aura, but actually, this is the biophotons, which is being emitted around the body. And the phrase say, we know today that the man essentially is a being light. And he said that. And the good thing is, as I'm coming from Egypt, once a time I read in a book that was speaking about colors, because the oldest color healing school in the world started from ancient Egyptian, and they're from several years. And they wrote in one of their papers that the human being is a being of light, and they wrote that actually. But when I read that before the science proved that, I saw this as a kind of philosophy. But actually, the ancient Egyptian was very precise, and I said, okay, it seems that they know something that we didn't know. So why the body have Bio-Photons actually? It's for sure it's not for fun or just to make us more beautiful or something like that. But actually, it controls the body physiology and chemical reactions. So the chemical reactions that happen in the body, they speak by each other, not by the nervous system, by Bio-Photons. I will tell you how and why. Nowadays, we have this internet, and we are reaching people in Egypt and Jordan and USA in just the speed of light. And we say the speed of light. If it is a physical wire, it will take a long time to transfer this signal to the United States. But light goes very fast. And that's why our body have the light. Because the amount of information that's being transferred per unit of time is huge. Because we are a big system. It's something like big data. You know, if you listen to that term, which is now available, the big data. It is being used for communication between the cells, exchange of information, and it is a feature of all life forms. So every living system have a Bio-Photons that's being emitted from itself. And that's interesting, by the way, that you become aware that a part of you is light. And in chromatic healing, we see the human as light from the dimension of light. So if there is illness or imbalance, we say there is an area that's missing light, or there is area need to balance the light in it. But not just light, it's a colorful light, and that's the point here. Our body sends its signals as a colorful light, not because, again, just for sake of colors, but because colors are codes, and colors are informations, and colors are frequencies. So, for example, when you are in the street and you see the red light, you stop, and you see the green light, you go. So, according to the light, there is a kind of information is being sent to you, or transcend to you, or whatever, how you take it. So, before I go further, I would like to clear a point here. In chromatic healing, even the aim is to balance the light and to balance the body, and the person may heal or may reach the healing, but this is not the target of the chromatic healing. The target of the chromatic healing is reaching balance, not to heal the person, and that's totally different, by the way. Because whatever your definition or understanding to the word healing, maybe is different than the definition of the body. So we follow the body definitions, not my definition or the client definition. And that's why, because I will go back again to the word systematic. I'm following the system, but I'm not forcing my definition on the system. Because if I force my definition of healing or what I need on the system will struggle with me. And the system for sure push me. And that's why when we do a lot of sessions, it may not work because the system is not accepting. And here in chromatic healing, the system of chromatic healing has been designed to listen to the system of the body more than to give it instructions. You have to heal fast. You have to do it as I want. And that's and that's an important point, because sometimes the body sees something we don't see. So the target of the balance and the balance that we need is balancing the light. But actually, again, as an engineer, the light is not the sake. What the light carries is sake. And what's the purpose of light? If you can think with me, what the purpose of light? Around the body, as I said before, why we have light around our body? If anyone can say anything, just
For information.
for information. That's right. Anyone want to add something?
Energy.
Energy, and
Protection.
protection. Okay, that's good. Okay, also, and anyone want to add from online?
For communication, maybe the lights will be communication.
Okay, all the answers are right. The purpose of them when we do the chromatic healing session is the information. That we balance information. Imagine that there is a company, but the email is going in the wrong way, or going to the wrong person, or you got an email, but in a language that you cannot understand, or you are waiting for an email, but it didn't come. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and then it comes. It is stuck in the system, and that's what happens in the body. There is an imbalance on the light. Our body know what is the problem and what is the solution, and I'm sure that all of you know that. Oh, what is this one? So the question is, why our body is not healing itself? And here is the question. Because, and the answer is, because our body or our consciousness see there is something beneficial in that state until you balance it. The body starts to heal back again. And that's why we need to balance the information system of the body. When you balance the information system, you give it a right information, it starts to heal. And that means, from that point of view, the disease, imbalance, emotional, mental, is a kind of corrupted information that's going to the body. And I was speaking with Cora yesterday, and she said the virus is an information that's being accepted by the body. And that's true. That our body accepts the virus because it sees there is a kind of mutual benefit between the system, my system, and the virus system. And here it comes. By the way, this is in the chromatic map again from the front and the back. We see how it's covered the whole body. And from if you feel pain in any parts in the body, you can know which chakra it is related to.
You need to restart your camera.
Okay. Yes. Okay, and here I say people get sick when they lose their colors. And what I mean by colors is their souls, their emotions, the passion, the dreams. So these are colors, and this is how we are coloring our life. In chromatic healing, when you balance the Bio-Photons and the information, it's not just a healing state. It takes a person maybe to awakening state or awareness state. So they start to connect to the universe. Because when you are balanced and your light are balanced, you can connect with the light, with the universe, which is the, I call it the global smart consciousness, the global smart consciousness. So you can get ideas, you can get thoughts or solutions about your problem or whatever you want, or you know the way. So when you are aware that you are light, and you are aware that you are in a balanced state, and actually at the end I can teach you a meditation that we are doing that it's equal to a kind of chromatic healing state. It's actually very, very beneficial to know that exercise, because it's not just about healing. It's about my consciousness, my existency, my awareness, the total of me, and that's really important. Maybe the healing is, if I got it now, I will not learn that lesson, and that's why sometimes the body can delay the healing, and that's why what we need before the healing is an enlightenment state. And that's what the chromatic healing is helping the person to reach. Okay. The chromatic healing is a way, I call it, is a way of negotiation. When I say way of negotiation, because I speak with your system to accept the light. And I'm not forcing energy, I'm not giving energy. It's a kind of negotiation. And according to how your body is responding, I know if it is accepting the offer or not. It is just like that. It is not forcing the body to heal. You need to heal. Because sometimes what you see is a problem is not the problem, but is the solution. And that's what the body is trying to tell us. What you define as a problem is not the problem, but it's the result of other problem. And I will share some stories maybe later about that. But actually, okay, a story came to my mind. By the way, the chromatic healing have a very good effect with the kids in the autism cases. When we measured the amount of enhancement that the chromatic healing does with the autism, for example, if the kid will reach a result after 1 year, which means 12 months, the amount of enhancement with the autism is 80%, from 50 to 80%. The maximum is 50, 80, and the minimum is 50. That means if the occupational therapist can do in 1 year, if there is another therapist who has studied chromatic healing, can achieve the same result, but in 6 months or maybe less 2 months, and the other can do it in 1 year, which is a huge difference, by the way. Actually, we were surprised by the result, and we're still studying that, by the way. I have practitioners in Lebanon and Tunisia and in Saudi Arabia and Egypt who are specialized in that field. And actually, chromatic healing became famous in that point because it gets a very good results with the kids who have difficulty in learning and speaking and communicating. The other point is, okay, chromatic healing doesn't see that there is a kind of negative energy and positive energy, and the reason of the disease is positive and negative. We don't see it like that. We see even the negative energy is a resource. What the people call it negative energy, it's acquired by the body, and it is accepted by the body, and it's a resource. So we need to understand how the body see that is a good thing. Chromatic healing dealing with the event concept, not with a problem. We don't have a problem. We don't have a disease. We don't have an illness. We have an event, and that's really important point, because you can apply the concept of chromatic healing in anything as long as it's an event. For example, a wedding event. You're buying land, you're going to travel, you can do a kind of chromatic healing session to that, because, and here it is a kind of quantum dimension. It's a kind of, we are spreading our wings wider. It's a quantum dimension because light is everywhere. And I found that, for example, this event, there has to be light to this event to be accomplished and to be established and to be done. There has to be light. If there is no light in the universe and there are streams of light that's coming and supporting that event, you'll find some struggles. And when you do and spread the light and you do a kind of chromatic healing sessions, you find strange things happen that it is because remember, it's the language of the universe. When you are light, the universe will support you. You find what you are struggling in is starting to go through, and the solution will start to appear, and you know how. I do that personally, by the way, and actually it makes miracles. Okay, we covered all of this. As I say, the chromatic healing is based on the system theory. That's I mentioned that dealing with the human body as a system gives us the opportunity to understand what the body is trying to tell us. And the conflict, one of the things is we need to clarify between what the body needs and what I need. And that's when you study and learn chromatic healing, you have to be in a neutral state. You don't have, you must, or you should, not to have an intention to remove the disease, because you need first to change your idea about what you see. And I say the first rule is change your thoughts about what you see. What you see will change immediately. This is the first thing in the healing before you start doing anything. If you would think that the disease, when you name it a bad name, that's a kind of energy you're sending to the disease. For sure, as the energy, and it has an identity and consciousness, because the disease has an identity and consciousness, for sure it will defend your thoughts about it. So the first thing is, whatever you see is bad, you need to ask yourself, how this can be a good thing?
Yeah.
Or in what manner it can be serving the person, not harming them. If you are able to think that way, you will able to understand the message of the body and the message that the disease is carrying to the person. And I'm always asking that question, how this thing can be an opportunity for the person. How this thing is not harm, but is good. Yes, we know it's limiting the person from walking, from speaking, but what kind of opportunity, even the person doesn't walk and talk, what kind of opportunity is giving to the person? Maybe it gives the person opportunity like depression. The depression is not, the person is not communicating. He is isolating, right? So what is the opportunity in the depression, if you can share? Anyone say anything?
Yeah.
Huh?
I can share.
Yes, say.
From my experience with the depression I went through, it opened a new entire world, as I told you yesterday. That darkest, the most painful moment in my life, opened a new entire world of thinking and pulled me out of my own darkness to a new entire world of healing.
Yes, exactly. That's perfectly right, because the energy of the depression, if you will not see the depressed person, you will not find the depressed person is standing like this, right? But the depressed person is going internal. So the energy of depression is going internal. And that means that the depression is forcing you to go and sit inside. And to maybe rethink and think about your thoughts and emotions and the struggles you went through. So depression is isolating you from outside, but connecting you to the inside, and that's it. So if you think that way, at that point you will able to understand what is the good message from depression, and you will understand what the problem of the person. His problem is not depression. His problem is not able to deal with what is inside. And that's why the body is saying, okay, let's take a break. Let's solve this first. And that's it. And that's when we see the body as a system. In chromatic healing, I say that the no result is a result. And this is a secret word. What I mean by no result is a result, let's say, when you do a session for someone, and you don't get a result with a chromatic healing system, because it is non-invasive, not forceful, So we are minimizing the number of variables. I'm not giving you medicine, I'm not giving you herbs, I'm not forcing your body. So the variables are minimized. So I am just motivating the body and negotiating with the body to move. And that's idea in chromatic healing. So when the body doesn't move, and I'm trying to negotiate with the body, as I say, I'm correcting the information, but still the body doesn't move, we apply the rule. The no result is a result, which means that don't think that your session didn't have an effect, but the body is sending a signal. The body is telling you what you are looking for, or what you are looking at is not the problem. The problem is somewhere else. The problem is somewhere else. When someone, when I do a session with someone, for example, I'll share with you a very good story which you can link. For example, we got a person, he came here, he said, I have a pain in my back. Most of the people would think that remove their pain. We want to remove their pain, right or not? Because the pain is not a good thing. But we will apply the rules of the chromatic healing. You need to be neutral to what you see, because what you see may be not the problem. So the pain, yes, there is a huge pain in the back of the person. We need to accept the body message. We do a session, but the pain increase. So here, we try to understand what the body is trying to tell us. Then I tell the person, okay, go check a doctor. And we find that he has a problem with the spinal cord. So he has to fix it. If we remove the pain, we are harming the person because he will stress more in his spinal cord. So here removing the pain is not a good thing, but the pain itself is a good alarm here. One of my students in Tunisia, she sent me a message one day. She said her brother made an accident while he is traveling, and there is the glasses was spread everywhere, and he has scratches on his face, and she said, I want to do a session for him because his state is not very well. And every time she is doing a session for him, his eyes, he started to feel a very strong pain in his eyes. And she did one session, 2 sessions, and he said, okay, my sister, stop this rubbish. Every time you do this, my pain increases. She sent me, she said, that happened. I told her, don't stop. This is a message from the body, continue. She did one more session, and the pain increased and didn't go away. And he went to the doctor, and the doctor told him there is tiny part of the glasses on the eye lenses, and they were moving inside the eye, and they are scratching the lenses. And if you waited more than that, your eyes will be you will be totally blind. So, and the message here, when we did the chromatic healing session, you need to be focused on this story because it's really important. The person in normal state, he wasn't able to feel the pain in his eyes. But when we did the session, which is, I said again, it's kind of connecting the information, the body become more aware, and the body become more enlightened. So the body started to know that there is a problem here. So your nervous system become more awake. So the nervous system, oh, there is a problem here. And that's why the person started to feel pain. And here we say that the chromatic healing help a person to be awakened. And that's when I say that enlightened state, because the Bio-Photons is really important for the information gathering and information transferring between the cells and communication. This is the cases, and I want to share with you the cases. It was an honor actually to join an online conference before about the traumatic event behind the coronavirus, and was led by Cora and Dr. Queasy, and we did that 2 times actually. I used chromatic healing with them actually, and the interesting part that I started to do that at the beginning of the corona when the symptoms was very hard. I got around 10 cases, which is they were suffering from the coronavirus from around 3 weeks or 1 month, and the case was really very hard. When I started to do for them the chromatic healing with some coaching also, the symptoms of the coronavirus disappeared in 8 days. They were totally healed in 8 days. I did just 2 sessions, sometimes, actually a few times, maybe 2 or 3% from the 10. I needed to do another one, which is 3 sessions to be totally healed. And that was really a fast progress in their case compared to the state they are coming from before. And I continued the same with another 10. I completed around 20 or 25 cases working with the chromatic healing to heal them. And then when the target of that cases I take to understand and to know what is the traumatic event behind that. And that's why I was starting with asking a lot of questions, and then I do the chromatic healing. I will share with you some cases that has been done in Egypt. The first case is Rada Hassan, she's from Egypt for 8 years. She was suffering from lenticular myopia, and she was in a need. Please mind maybe some medical words, because I'm an engineer. Sometimes I may not read it correctly. Yeah. Maybe I'm not aware about the medical terms, so mind my medical English. And she was in need of an operation to replace in the both eye the lenses. And that was the 2 doctors' opinion. By the way, this kind of disease is progressed by age and cannot go back, and cannot stop also except by operation. This is the report from the doctor. Actually, it's written in Arabic, but he says that she needs to plant the lenses or to do an operation for a lenses, and that's her report. And that's another doctor. By the way, I want to see the dates here. It's 2015. This in Arabic 2015, and then again she did another test 2019, and the same results on 2 different doctors. And then she started, she kept her measures for her eyes. And then she started at 2019 to work in her eyes here. And her vision started to get back again. And her vision started to progress. And actually the decline of the vision of that or her eyesight has stopped. And she said around, I don't remember how many sessions she said. She said that I don't remember, but I worked on myself when I wanted every while. She said not too much sessions, but she reached that result. And by the way, the decline of the eye vision is something that medically is not easy to improve your vision back again. That's another case, and this, by the way, this is a very interesting case. Sabine from Lebanon, and this was done by distance, by the way. The healer was in Egypt, and she was Ghada. She was the one who was fixing her eyes, and Sabine was in Lebanon, and she's 11 years old girl. She was affected by the German measles, and you know the measles? It's measles, yes. Yeah. We call the Egypt German. There's a kind of German one, but I don't know what the difference is. And that affected her ears, caused her to not able to hear back again, and she was 1 year and a half suffering from that, and she was wearing an ear aids to be able to hear. Her mother sick and asked Gada to work on Sabine. Sabine didn't know anything. Sabine, she already had a year and a half trying no results with the doctors, and they say that the nervous of the eye of the ears is damaged and they will not go back. Gada did 10 sessions. It's around 10. Yeah, that's. Okay, that's a child, by the way. That's before. It's here on 50. That's before. You see in the chart 50, and she did 10 sessions from 2 June to the 12th of June 2019, and then it's just a 10 session, by the way. You see, in 10 days, it's almost 8 sessions or something like that in 10 days, and you see the results here, and that's her report. And the girl suddenly, one day, she said to her mother, "Mother, I can hear back again." And that's after Rada was working on her case in the time, and she already we filmed a video for her, the girl, where she's speaking about her case. And by the way, the girl didn't know that there's something or healing is happening to her. This Aisha Mohammed. She's an old woman, 63 years old, and she had a surgery, breast cancer, removed in 2015. And she had a cancer in 2015, and she has a metastasis in 2019 happened, which is the AFP, which she made an analysis. She found the AFP, the alpha fetal protein was 1,830, which is greater than 400. That means there is a tumor inside the body. And her doctor said, her doctor said that she may last for 3 months only. She will not live longer than 3 months. She wasn't in any treatment, and her husband said, okay, as long that's her case, and the doctor said she will last for 3 months, and I don't want her to suffer, so I will not take her to the way of medication. I will try by food and energy healing. And he contacted Rada. And she started to do some chromatic session, and we see here the results. This is before 1,800, and this is after the sessions, which is 30. This is a tumor markers, by the way. It reduced after she started the sessions, and the women are okay now. How many sessions? I think it's around. This case was around 10 sessions. After 10 sessions, they have been done. That number of tumors are reduced that way. This is another interesting case. This is already also interesting case. Reem Hussein from Tunisia. She suffered from 1 year and a half, suffering from thyroid gland hormones disturbance. pituitary gland disturbance, menopausal for 1 year and a half, and she was seeking sessions to balance the glands, hormones.
How old was she?
I can tell you. I have the reports. I can tell. I didn't write here,
Don't worry.
but I have the reports. Maybe written here. And that her TSH, the thyroid hormone, it was 5.66, and here became 3.77 after the sessions. And the good news is she hormones back to normal, period back to normal after even that wasn't the intention. And she was pregnant in the third week after finishing the session, and she got this beautiful gap. after that the period is stopped for 1 year and a half. And this is the last case. It's a very interesting case. Asma and Ahmed, and I believe this is a very hard case. Asma is 36 years old, married, and have no chance of pregnancy. She has the high level of AMH, which is a kind of ovary syndrome. Medicaid has no cure. As I understood from the Asma, she said that when this AMH is high, the body started to donate the eggs very fast, and they are not in a good state to be fertilized. So they have to be reduced. But she doesn't suffer from that only. She have insulin resistance, which make the case harder. Adhesion in the uterus, which make it harder to be pregnant, and the left fallopian tube obstruction. And what makes the case harder is the husband suffering from low level of sperm and abnormal shapes of 80%. And varicose veins in the testicles. I consider this as a very hard case. The man is not in a good state, and the woman also not in a good state, and they are married. And they asked for the chromatic healing sessions. And this is the report. If you can see here, I can show you. It shows that there is the abnormal forms of sperm is 88%, which is a big number. And here the AMH is 10, which is very high, and is 7, more than 7 is high. And she got this after the sessions. She both of Asma, she got pregnant, and she got this beautiful girl. And she sent, this is a fresh photo, by the way, and she sent it to me to present it in the presentation. And this interesting case that the healing session has been done on the woman and on the man and on the relation between them. And because we believe in the chromatic healing that even our relation between each other may affect it and may have light or no light. And the more light we have around our body and sometimes the relations, that may help the body to heal. And the interesting part about the chromatic healing relationship is, and there is a course about that we found that some diseases start to appear in the body not because not following a healthy style, not because of not a weak system of the body, but because of a weak relationship with someone. When we fix the light, which is going between the person and the other person, the diseases start to heal very fast. And that's why I say in the start that don't think what you see is a problem. Maybe what you see is the solution for other hidden problems. And that's how the chromatic healing teaching me actually how to think about what I see, because what I see maybe is not the truth. And the last I would like to share with you, if there is light in the soul, there will be beauty in the person. And thank you very much. I'm really glad to share with you.